Hiya, I'm Balese and welcome to another Q&A video. This time the theme is furries. I have written and compiled a list of questions into a Google Doc that is linked in the description below if anyone else wants to join in this FurryQ&A tag. I also want to thank Kane the Circle on Twitter for giving me the inspiration for this video. Go give them some love. They are amazing. And without further ado, let's get started. Part 1. The Furry Fandom. How did you find the fandom? I was actually called one online without knowing what it was when I was really young. That led to me looking into it online, and after a few years of repressing it, I eventually accepted that I was indeed a furry, and that person was right. What does the fandom mean to you? It's a fun, mostly online community that I'm a part of revolving around anthropomorphic animals. It is very much an art community to me as well, because a lot of my art is animal-centric. How long have you been a part of the furry fandom? Officially, around 3 years. I've been lurking in it for over 8 though. How has the furry fandom impacted your life for better or worse? It's mostly impacted my life for the better. It's given me loads of inspiration and encouragement for my art. I've made some incredible friends and I've met some amazing people because of it. The only negatives I can think of are the indescribable horrors I've stumbled across on art pages. There is some disturbing art out there, man. How integral to your personality is being a furry? Being a furry is just another part of me, like my love of nature or my dry humour. It's definitely not the loudest part of my personality. I'd give that honour to my big brain of animal facts that I feel the need to interject at any moment I can seize. What are your favourite parts of the fandom? I love the art and I love how accepting the fandom is in general. Everyone also seems so affectionate and open in the fandom. There are hugs everywhere. Everyone loves hugs in this fandom. It's great. What are your most disliked parts of the fandom? Putting some furries on pedestals, the prevalence of zoos and pedos, as well as their sympathisers and apologists, and the toxic drama culture in some circles online. Any hot takes about the fandom? Fur Affinity is a horrible website. It is run by shady people and is formatted terribly in my opinion. It is way too accepting of not safe for work content depicting characters unable to consent as well, such as minors and animals, etc. Would you change anything about the fandom and why? You can probably tell from my previous answers that I'd get rid of the stan culture and the zoo and pedo stuff. That all needs to go because it's bad. What other fandoms are you a part of? I'm a part of a couple anime and manga fandoms like My Hero Academia and Beastars. Best furry experience? Probably attending a furry bowling meetup. It was super fun and I had a great time. Worst furry experience? Being groped by another furry. Opinions on furry cons? I think they sound great, but I am a bit intimidated by the size of some. Have you been to any furry cons? If yes, how many? None yet, but I hope to attend one someday, maybe if this lockdown ever ends. Opinions on minors, people under 18, in the fandom. As long as safe spaces are provided and maintained, I'm all for them enjoying the fandom. We were all young once. God, that made me sound old. Do you think you will always be a part of the fandom? I hope so. Opinion on quote-unquote poppy furs. I'm conflicted about them, to be honest. I mean, I love some furries that fall into that category, but the stan culture in the fandom is a bit much. Also, people who use their popularity to abuse and exploit people exist, and that's a huge yikes for me. If you could meet any furry, who would it be? Probably Artemis Wishfoot. Favourite furry artists? Skia Sky / Zach, Wolf Skulljack, Raironu, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Keke, and Halo Promise. Favourite furry YouTubers? Artemis Wishfoot, Kane the Circle, Zillion Ross, and Pokari Roo. Favourite fursuit makers? May Fursuits, Crafty Vulpine, Lady Nightlight, and Alpha Dog Studio. Favourite fursuiters? Zillion Ross is hilarious in suit. He can just run forever. Just zoom around the con, it's so funny. Opinions on those who hate the furry fandom. It's not for everyone, I know, but I don't see the point of downright hating all furries. Sometimes for no reason other than, ooh, it's cool to hate on furries online. I mean, screw the people who do it just because we're an easy target. Part 2. Your Fursona and you. Do you have a fursona, and if so, what species is it? Yes, I do have a fursona. I mean, look at me. Balese is a cat-dragon hybrid, sometimes called a kitagon or a drat. You can probably tell which one I prefer. How did you decide your fursona species? I love dragons, but I didn't think I was cool enough to be a dragon. I also love cats and relate to them a lot, so I combined the two. How did you design your fursona? I drew a cat and then added dragon bits. I knew I wanted it to be extra fluffy, so that was added into the design. I prefer more natural colour palettes, so I had a rough idea of what colours I wanted, and the banded extremities, like the arms and ears, etc., are a cool design trope, I think, so I incorporated them into my design too. Do you have more than one fursona? No, but I have a bunch of other characters and OCs. Has your fursona changed over time? A tiny bit. I swapped the white and black on their banding to make their design more fursuit friendly. Black fur is a lot easier to keep clean than white. What is the meaning behind your fursona's name? Okay, so when I was making my PlayStation Network account at 12, I wanted to be named after my dog at the time. Her name was Balese, as in the cream liqueur, but you couldn't have a brand name as your account name, so I intentionally misspelled it to be Balese. That name and spelling just stuck with me. Do you prefer being called your fursona name or your real name? I kind of prefer my fursona name because it's a more gender neutral term. I mean, not many people in Ireland are called Balese, I imagine. I'm considering changing my real name, currently, because I'm thinking of socially transitioning to my non-binary gender and I want a more gender neutral name. If you could turn into your fursona, but it would be forever, would you? Yes, no questions asked. What's your favourite animal? Oh dear, I have so many. I love ball pythons, orcas, cats, dogs, tegus, crocodiles, and octopuses, I think, the most. What is your favourite fursona species other than your own? I really like dinosaur fursonas, especially raptors. Opinions on clothes species. I don't really have any opinions on them, if I'm honest. Are you otherkin? I don't think so, but I really connect with cats and I've always felt a connection with dragons. If that makes me otherkin, so be it, I don't really know. Do you wear furry apparel, ears, tail, etc. in public? No. The most furry thing that I wear in public is clothes with animals on them. I have some shirts that look a bit furry-esque. I'll put up a picture here of one of them that looks like a fursuit being x-rayed. Do you do or have you ever done roleplay online with other furries? Nope. Opinions on fursuits. I love them. Have you ever fursuited? Yes, I borrowed a friend's partial for an anime and sci-fi con before and loved it. Do you own any fursuits? Not yet, but I have a slot with a maker, so stay tuned. Favourite furry social media platforms? I, funnily enough, really like furry Twitter, although I'm good at avoiding the toxic sides of it, I suppose. Do you have separate social media accounts for your furry side? Yes, I have a separate furry Twitter and Tumblr. Do your family and friends know you are a furry? Some of my family and most, if not all of my friends. Have you ever been bullied for being a furry? Not really, but I have had to hide my furriness from people to avoid being bullied or teased. Do you have any IRL furry friends, or are they mostly online? I have a few furry friends in real life, but most are online. Favourite furry movies, TV shows, books, and games? The Lion King, Wolf's Rain, Beastars, Digimon, and Pokemon. Paws or Maws? Or are you on a different team? Paws, I guess, but I like Maws too. I also like Tails, so It's purely aesthetics for me though. Have you ever commissioned furry art? No, I mostly draw my own. Do you do furry art commissions? Yes, I do. My commissions are open if anyone's interested. Have you ever made a fursuit? No, I do not trust myself around hot glue. Any advice for other furries? Be kind to each other and remember that there is a person behind every account and fursuit. Part 3. Sexuality in the fandom. Are you a member of the Lgbtqia+ community? Yes, I have another Q&A video all about it if you want to know more. Check it out. Do you enjoy not safe for work furry content? Not really. I don't mind tasteful nudity or like mild gore or something, but I avoid all not safe for work content usually. Do you keep your socials safe for work? Yes. Is the fandom a sexual thing for you? No, but I accept that it is for many people. Do you think kink and not safe for work stuff belongs in furry cons? It depends. Like, as long as it's kept separate from everything else, so minors and people who want to avoid it can, I think it's okay. That applies to all cons really. I've seen some really not safe for work stuff at anime and sci-fi cons on full display. Has the fandom helped you with your sexuality and or gender identity? Yes, it is actually a huge part of how I figured out myself in those regards. Have you ever been harassed for your sexuality or gender by other furries? No, thankfully. Would you date a furry? Yeah, I guess. Would you date a non-furry? Also yeah, as long as they accepted I'm a part of the fandom. Is being a furry something to come out as in your opinion? Not really. It's more something I've just been asked about by my friends. I only say that I am if prompted or if it like comes up in conversation. Phew, that was a lot of questions. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe. Maybe even hit that notification bell. Again, the link to all the questions is in the description if you want to join in. Maybe I can get this tag trending or whatever. If there are any questions you'd like me to add to the list, let me know either in the comments here or on Twitter. Also follow me on Twitter while you're at it too. Anyway, see you in the next video.